before I became so-called gospel rapper or Christian rapper, I used to do secular music. So I was going by a name that's quite funny, Cyclone, which can be affiliated to a natural disaster. So at some point someone questioned me and said, why do you call yourself that? Don't you think someone will ask you about your name someday? And so I sort of reflected and started thinking about it, and I can't really remember how I came up with it, but TSG basically stands for Triumphant Servant of God. So it was at a point when I was trying to transition in my career and also in my walk of faith. So and for Humayne, it came from the natural, or should I say the original spelling is Humane. And so the Y was me trying to be artistic, but humane has to do with someone being compassionate and kind. I don't know if you've noticed, I think you've seen it around there are people who post challenges, there was that Empower Africa challenge and that type of thing. So Rich Records is a record label in the United States, and the head producer there is Ace Harris. Yeah, so those guys posted a challenge. It was KB's Hold Me Back. And so when they posted that, I saw it, and I worked on the song and did a video for it, and it caught their attention. And so I saw a comment from Ace Harris, that's the head producer at Rich, that's also Lecrae's producer, and he's worked with a couple of other people. I think he did, is it track number 13 on Lil Wayne's Carter 5, if I'm not mistaken, but he did the famous song on that project. And so when he commented, I was really just spooked, I was shocked, like, oh, so these things actually work, and these people actually see this stuff. And that pushed me to want to converse with him. I love building relationship with people, and so I dropped him a text, we started talking. Ironically, he was very, very responsive at that time after he saw the video. I had actually texted him like months before and he didn't respond, but at that point we sort of talked, and he asked me a few questions about myself and I answered those questions, and from there he asked that I send him some of my projects. So I picked like my top 5 songs, and I submitted them, and he liked the ideas I had also, and he sent me some instrumentals that he suggested that we work on creatively. And so I had to record and send the stuff so that he reviews, and then once approved I release. So the first project I did was Nuevo. It features Tilo, and so I submitted the stuff, and he gave a go ahead, and I told him I wanted to put it on the project I was going to drop, cut it down for me. And that's how we made it happen. So I still have like 2 more songs with him. If I'm working with someone creatively and we know that we're trying to build each other in some way, for example, he's trying to reach people in Zambia and I'm trying to reach people in the States, I feel like the limit is not just a song. So in a situation where I want to travel and I want to pay them a visit at Rich Records, I feel like looking at how we're conversing and how he's chosen to follow me on all my socials and I sort of have personal contact, I feel like there's room for a lot. I can't promise much, but stuff is like at a good place, it's something that back in the day was just a dream, and then you sort of have personal contact with someone who can get you to the people you've always looked up to, people like Lecrae, KB, and them. So that's not really priority for me, but I feel like learning from him and sort of tapping into their audience that side would be something I would want, because that would go beyond a feature. A feature can be forgotten, but if I've impacted people, they can now follow me closely and I can do shows there if I happen to play my cards right. So my latest project is called Cut It Down For Me. Literally means Ntemena. So Ntemena is my girlfriend's name, and so looking at how I had struggled with stuff to do with relationships and love some time back, When I met Ntemena, I sort of had this zeal to just want to, put out some music that will change how people perceive love and everything. Because at some point, I also started having a flawed perspective when it came to the topic of love. It's where you've gone through so much heartache and you think everyone is just not loyal. Like everyone is messed up, but I feel like even in being messed up, you can still choose to commit to someone and build something. So it really came from that place. It's where you meet someone and you experience an amazing time and you have an amazing experience with this person, and you feel like telling the world, sharing and inspiring someone out there that love is a beautiful thing, even though it's not easy. So yeah, inspiration was drawn from my girlfriend. But initially I was calling it an EP. It had like 5-6 songs, but along the way I sort of had more inspiration to just bring out more stuff in the project, and so the tracks went up to I think 10, and then we added the intro and the outro, which brought the track list to like 12. So ironically, I can say I produced 80% of the Cut It Down For Me project, apart from the Ace Harris project, and apart from, there's a song that features Killer from So Good, a song called All About You, that was produced by DJ Flex. And for the instrumentals, I sort of partnered with different people. So the instrumentals actually have credits from, there's a guy from the UK, a guy called 2359 Music. So even him, we were conversing just via email, and he sent me some stuff. I love getting beats, like collecting beats, and then when I feel like working, I just pick from my collection. So that's what happened for this particular project. So yeah, but I did most of the work on the project. Like when I take it back, I've always looked up to people like Lecrae, KB, and those guys have done Bible school, most of them. And that's how come their music is sound when it comes to doctrine and everything, especially like the music that they do to reach out to people. The evangelistic music, it's called sound doctrine, and so I always admired that. And so it was always in my vision or in my plans to do Bible school someday. So it just came early, I guess. And so yeah, I was given an opportunity to study there, and so I also do part-time work there, So if I'm not in the studio, I'm at Central Africa Baptist College doing my degree there, and yeah, so I've got like roughly, I don't want to mention the years, but I'm still there for some time. But I'm also working there part-time. So yeah, I'm the social media manager, so I'm the one behind their marketing and branding, And so sometimes I'm behind the camera, making sure the school is branded well. When it's time for enrollments, I make sure adverts are running on different stations, So that's Danny TSG away from Danny TSG. I don't know if that makes sense. So that's Danny away from TSG. I think for me, I would want to sort of give people an opportunity I didn't have. I've had to fight for practically everything I have. I didn't have anyone to make life easy, So at some point I remember moving long distances to just have a recording session, and producers back home in Ndola, because currently I'm in Kitwe, but producers back home in Ndola can bear witness. People like Die, Scream, Drafx, we move distances, and Mr. Bizario, who's currently in Lusaka, those are the people who sort of gave us an opportunity after we had struggled, So my plan really is to someday put on some young talent out there, not really sign them. I'm not trying to start some record label, but just give them an opportunity to express themselves creatively without struggling as much. Or I really just want to help them, you know, give them connections I had to fight for, you know, on the silver plate, you know. On social media, you can find me by just searching for Danny TSG, you know, that's on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, yeah, and yeah, so if you search for Danny TSG, it will definitely lead you to my pages. Yeah, and if you have struggles, you can add the Humayne, which is Humayne. So Danny TSG Humayne.